Hello, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Real Telugu Talks. And in today's episode, we are doing a deep dive of the movie Jalsa.
అతని పేరు సంజయ్ సాహు.
They call him the cool angry man, super under a Jalsa. It's the time for the toll and the beat. Come on, Carol, just
Starring Pawan Kalyan, Ileana, and directed by Trivikram. Now, this is easily one of my favorite PK movies because characterizations, the Pawan Kalyan characterization, Sanjay Sahu,
Yeah.
is just such on point. It's so good. And again, Trivikram's writing, so good. Ileana comedy, the Brahmanandam comedy in this movie, so good.
So good, bro.
It's just so good.
Dude, not even just the Brahmanandam comedy, bro. The PK and Prakash Raj comedy is so
Oh,
funny,
yeah.
bro. It's like their interactions are so funny, bro.
Yep. Pranav, the head constable. Everything in this movie is just so good. It's one of those movies where if it comes across on YouTube, or like the comedy scenes come across on YouTube, I'll be like, yeah, I guess that's what I'll watch now. Because that's just how rewatchable that film is to me. And I guess it's the same for a lot of our generation of kids. Because I think we've heard about the peak PK like before Johnny. Like he had like the Kushi, he had the Badri, he had Suswagatam, he had that run like from his debut.
There's like 6 or 7 movies.
Exactly. But after that, he had decent films, but not Pawan Kalyan level films. And
Yeah.
then, so for us, for our generation, that first film that gave us that full Pawan Kalyan swag and characterization was Jalsa. It
Yeah.
was Sanjay Sahu that got us that. And again, that's just honestly, first of all, hats off to Trivikram, bro. That's his. I think that was his third movie, man.
That combination in itself is
Yeah.
something, bro.
We don't have to talk about Agnatavasi,
I was
but
just about to say that. But like there's some like magic with that
the first
combination.
two, the first two.
Yeah, first two definitely. Like Jalsa was definitely like our first for that, and then later, obviously, like Authentic Diary, they
Yeah.
hit a little bit closer for like at least our generation.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jalsa was special, bro. And dude, I don't know what it is. Like when a character's nailed, and then you got Bob's voiceover, bro.
Oh yeah.
Oh my, like I
Mahesh
hate to
Babu's
like keep
voiceover.
making it about him, bro, just 'cause I'm a fanboy, but like, dude, I go back and watch some of those like intro scenes and everything because of the voiceover, bro. Like,
Yeah.
like it's so good whenever like a star hero does voiceovers, bro.
Even మహేష్ బాబు కూడా కొంచెం కామెడీ ఉంటుందిరా when they're introducing సంజయ్ సాహు's character and it's like వీడు ప్రతిరోజు తాగుతాడు అండ్ అక్కడ ఒక చిన్న డైలాగ్ ఉంటుంది
ఇతను ప్రతి శనివారం ఆదివారం తాగుతాడు. సోమవారం ఇంకా 5 రోజులు తాగకుండా ఉండాలనే భయంతో తాగుతాడు. మంగళవారం ఒకరోజు తగ్గిందనే ఆనందంతో, బుధవారం ఎంత తాగినా శనివారం రాలేదనే బాధతో, గురువారం శుక్రవారం మాత్రం రోజు తాగుతున్నాననే సిగ్గుతో తాగుతాడు. సో ఇతను వారం అంతా తాగుతూనే ఉంటాడు.
and then so అక్కడ కూడా that's Trivikram writing.
Yeah.
Trivikram specialty అది. So and then again we get introduced to, but before we get into Trivikram, we'll talk about Pawan Kalyan first, man. Like our cinema lo Pawan Kalyan is you have the action obviously, but you have the comedy as well, bro. Pawan
He's such
Kalyan,
an all-rounder, bro.
he's such an all-rounder in this, bro. Even heroine తో కూడా కామెడీ సీన్స్ బాగుంటాయి ఆ సినిమాలో. He has that sort of rapport, like comedy rapport with everyone in that movie. Ali గురించి తెలిసిందే. Like the PK and Ali comedy scenes we already know about. But like when he's doing when his comedy scenes with Brahmi, that ఒక scene ఉంటుంది where they both go out to get palu and
Palu
eggs.
packet.
The palu packet and eggs. And he's like అక్కడ 2 ప్యాకెట్లు ఉంటాయి. ఒక ప్యాకెట్ మీరు తీసుకుని ఒక ప్యాకెట్ నాకు ఇవ్వచ్చు. ఓ అవునా, ఇది ఎంత షార్ప్. ఏయ్ చూడు అసలు ప్రాణం ఎంత షార్ప్ అసలు నాకు తెలియదు ప్రాణం ఇవి ఐడియా.
మీకు సగం మాకు సగం ఓకే.
2 ప్యాకెట్లు ఉన్నప్పుడు ఒక ప్యాకెట్ నువ్వు తీసుకుని ఒక ప్యాకెట్ నాకు ఇవ్వచ్చుగా బాబు.
అయ్యో రామా నాకు ఐడియా తట్టనే లేదండి. వాట్ అన్ ఇంటెలిజెంట్ బాయ్, సో స్వీట్. అసలు ఇలాంటి ఐడియాలు ఎలా వస్తాయండి మీకు? రే అభి, ప్రణవ్ గారు ఏమన్నారో విన్నావా? దరిద్రుడు కదండి, వస్తాయి.
So the 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 combinations, the back and forth he has with all the the other character artists in the film is so good. And of course, నువ్వు చెప్పినట్టు ప్రకాష్ రాజ్ క్యారెక్టరైజేషన్ గురించి
Yeah.
అది చూస్తాడు, ఓ నేనా అని పారిపోతాడు.
అమ్మా వీడా సార్?
So again, and
Like the repeat scene, right? Because the beginning is like beginning లో ఒక ప్రకాష్ రాజ్ తో ఒక సీన్ ఉండిద్ది, అది పిచ్చ కామెడీగా ఉండిద్ది. తర్వాత మళ్ళీ యూజువల్ గా మనం ఏమనుకుంటాం, ఓకే రిపీట్ గా ఒక సీన్ ఉంటే రిపీట్ అవుతుంది కాబట్టి మనం నవ్వుతాం. కానీ రిపీట్ అయ్యి తర్వాత మళ్ళీ ఆ సీన్ ని మళ్ళీ ఆ ప్యాటర్న్ లోనే ఫార్మ్ చేసేస్తే ఇంకా
మళ్ళీ no, there's so meta too about it. They're like ఇదేదో ఆల్రెడీ జరిగినట్టుందేంటి అని అంటాడు.
అన్ని రిపీట్ లో వస్తున్నాయి ఏంటి అన్నట్టు అలా ఫాలో అవుద్ది.
Yeah.
So funny. So and like I feel like only Indian movies can get away with like that kind of, not like stupid level comedy, but like very simple comedy, right? Like small.
It's
small
very
little things
meta,
where you
bro.
can
It's
laugh.
very meta.
Yes.
Like all those scenes, it's very meta.
And like I was talking about this with a friend the other day. Like if you made jokes like that in like an American movie, it just doesn't land, bro. But
Yeah.
like in Indian movies, for some reason, and mainly like Trivikram comedy in general, it's like subtle things like that.
Trivikram ki writing power.
Yeah.
It's all a lot of his dialogues are based on like the prasa. The certain it's something that if like let's say if you take it at face value and translate it, you won't get the same effect purely because of the way number one Telugu language is and the way that Trivikram writes it, right? With the prasa and everything. You won't get that in a translation or like in a remake or something. I think that's why Shehzada didn't do so good because it was one of like Trivikram's like pure writing based films. But when you look at Jalsa, all of the scenes are situational comedy and dialogue based comedy. No physical comedies in that film.
Yeah, I agree. Like, and the thing is, like, I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of like physical comedy in general.
Yeah,
I'm
no.
I'm way more of a fan of like the punchy type of
The punch dialogues
punch
or
dialogues
like
and
the
like the back and forth. Like that's when like good comedy is there, right? Because the best thing about comedy, and it's kind of like fight scenes actually,
Yeah.
where it's like the reactions are what make it funny, not really like the dialogue itself. Like so that's why like even like the Packet scene we were talking
Yeah.
about, bro. Like the reactions that you get is what nails that film.
But when talking about Pawan Kalyan, right, we also have to talk about the flashback scene, bro, when he's a Naxalite.
Yeah.
Like, that builds and gives so much depth into the
Bro,
characterization.
you gotta talk about the scene before they talk about the Naxalite scene. Like when they're
Oh,
actually like
yeah.
where,
కష్టాల గురించి నీకు తెలుసు కష్టాల
Yes.
గురించి మాట్లాడే అర్హత ఇక్కడ ఎవరికైనా ఉందంటది నాకే నా
Yeah.
ఒక్కడికే అని
And then they
దిక్కు తీసి-
flashback.
and then
Yes.
they flash. But no, that's the first time we see who Sanjay Sahu is. Okay, writing paranga, that interval scene is very important. And then so you understand who he is. We get a sneak peek into his like life before coming to the city.
Yeah.
And then we see his hardships growing up. వాళ్ళ తమ్ముడు చనిపోతాడు, వాళ్ళ నాన్న చనిపోతాడు, వాళ్ళ అమ్మ చనిపోద్ది. ఒకే రోజులో 2 సార్లు he goes back and forth to the cemetery because his parents die on the same day.
Yeah.
So and then he becomes a Naxalite because he's fed up with the world.
Yeah.
And even on Naxalite scenes lo goda, you see his ideology. Like when he's talking, one of his like other comrades or something is saying like, we'll blow up the CM's car. We'll blow up someone's car. Yedo antadu. As like, ఒకవేళ ఆ కార్ కాకపోతే ఇంకో కార్ వెళ్ళిపోతే ఈయన అమాయకమైన ప్రాణాలు పోతాయి కదా. So we even get his ideology in that scene very subtly. And that's the Trivikram writing. So we understand who Sanjay Sahu is as a person, why he is like that when he comes to the city, why he's so jovial, why he keeps studying or degree మీద degree చేస్తూనే ఉంటాడు. And that's because he never had that luxury, but now he has that luxury to do it. So we understand who he is. And cinema release అయినప్పుడు I don't think a lot of people కి ఆ Naxalite దీన్ని నచ్చలేదు అనుకుంటా. A lot of people were saying that didn't fit well, but that works like when you go back and look at it now, it makes a lot of sense as to why Trivikram had to write it like
The
that.
thing is, right? Like when I don't know how to say this, but like with commercial movies usually,
Hmm.
like if some elements like feel out of place, like
Hmm.
they're like not necessary or like really
Hmm.
flow as well,
Hmm.
like based on what the audience perceives it
Hmm.
as, it like doesn't really land. And like
Hmm.
that can sometimes like I personally thought it worked,
Yeah, I
but
thought it
another
worked. Yeah.
person might not
Hmm.
think that it worked, right?
Hmm.
And also like the thing with like a commercial movie is like it appeals to all audiences, right?
Yeah.
Like some people might go to a movie like Jalsa for comedy, some people
Hmm.
might go just for the action. Some people
Hmm.
so like it has to cover all the elements, and then we'll get to the music in a little bit because
Yeah.
like that's by far the strongest point in this
Hmm.
movie. But like the different elements, if they don't like flow as well for some people, that's
Hmm.
when you get the mixed reviews, right?
Hmm.
Like any type of commercial movie, I feel like the reviews always just come down to that, bro.
Yeah.
They're like the theme wasn't there, or like
Hmm.
this wasn't there, this wasn't there. Like it felt out of place, and then
Hmm.
that's when people you get like clashing viewpoints and clashing
Yeah.
opinions. But the movie ultimately will be pretty solid.
Yep. And I think that's exactly what happened with Jalsa in this case. But even on Naxalite scenes లో కూడా ప్రకాష్ రాజ్ వచ్చిన తర్వాత
Yes.
కామెడీ వచ్చిందిరా.
Yes.
అదేంటిది షర్ట్ తీసి ఊపుతాడు. ఇట్స్
Yep.
లైక్ నేనేదో క్యాజువల్ గా అన్నా, నేను సీరియస్ గా తీసుకున్నానండి అంటాడు.
ఏరా నీ దగ్గర రెడ్ క్లాత్ నన్ను క్లబ్ డాన్సర్లో పట్టిపించావు రే నా డిపార్ట్మెంట్ దాకా కాదరా నా చొక్కా గుంటలు కూడా పీక్లేవరా నువ్వు జనరల్గా చెప్పాను రా
నేను సీరియస్గా తీసుకున్నాను.
See, అందులో కూడా కామెడీ ఉంటుంది. దట్ ఈస్
Yeah.
త్రివిక్రమ్. దట్ ఈస్ త్రివిక్రమ్.
And also, like as a hero, right? Like you have to have the timing, bro.
Yeah.
Like PK has the timing, bro. That's one of his like very strong traits. Like
Yeah.
that's what always shines when he's working with Trivikram. Like Authentic Dar is the exact same way, bro. It's like that timing works really well.
Yeah.
With Brahmanandam's character or Ali character, like if that timing, even like MS Narayana's character in that movie. So like
Yeah.
in this movie, it's the exact same. Prakash Raj, Ilyana, Brahmanandam. No matter
Yeah.
who it is, Ali, like it just works. His timing his timing shines with Trivikram's dialogue writing.
And then, of course, I want to talk about the actual character artists in this film. Again, Trivikram cinema అంటే చాలా మంది ఉంటారు.
Yeah,
There's a lot of people in this
an
movie, bro.
ensemble cast.
And it's ensemble cast. You have Kamalni Mukherjee for a little bit. You have Ilyana, who's the main heroine. You have Ali, Brahmanandam, Prakash Raj, Mukesh Rishi. You have Sivaji, who comes in for a little bit as a Potlakai Papara or something. So many people in this movie, but like not a single character felt out of place, bro. It just worked. And
Yeah.
Pawan Kalyan has that back and forth with every single character. ఇన్ఫాక్ట్ ఈవెన్ విలన్ తో కూడా ఉంటుందిరా. విలన్ తో వార్నింగ్ సీన్ ఉంటుంది.
Yeah,
ఐ మీన్ ఐ విల్ టాక్ అబౌట్ దిస్. ఐ మీన్ సరే మాట్లాడేసుకుందాం, ఆల్రెడీ వచ్చేసాం కదా. దట్ జైల్లో వెళ్ళి కలుస్తాడు విలన్ ని.
yes,
విలన్ ని కలిసి అంకుల్ అని అంటాడు స్టైలిష్ గా, ఇలా చైర్ ని వెనక్కి తిప్పి దాని మీద కూర్చుని, అంకుల్ మీతో మాట్లాడుతుంటే నాకు ఒక విషయం అర్థమైంది. మీరు ఇప్పుడు దాకా భయం చూశారు కానీ ఎప్పుడు ఫీల్ అవ్వలేదు.
yeah.
విత్ ఇన్ షార్ట్ టైం మీకు భయం అంటే ఏంటో తెప్పిస్తాను. గ్రాముల్లో కిలోల లెక్కలు కాదు, టన్నుల్లో చూపిస్తాను అని ఇలా గ్లాస్ మీద కొడతాడు.
అంకుల్ మన ఇద్దరి మధ్య గొడవ ఉంది అంకుల్. మన ఇద్దరం కలిసి ఒక టీమ్గా పనిచేద్దాం ఏంటి? చెప్పానుగా నీ పని అయిపోయినట్టే. ఖచ్చితంగా ఇస్తాను. గ్రాముల్లో కిలోలో కాదు, టన్నుల లెక్కనిస్తాను. భయం భయం భయం.
Yeah.
అండ్ దెన్ ఆఫ్ కోర్స్ మళ్ళీ బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్ లో డిఎస్పి బీజిఎం. సో అక్కడ కూడా యు సీ హీస్ ఒక వార్నింగ్ ఇస్తున్నాడు, బట్ హీఈస్ వెరీ casual about it, dude.
It makes no sense, bro.
It
Only
makes
he
no
can
sense.
do it.
Only
Only
Pawan
he-
Kalyan can do that, bro. Only Pawan Kalyan, I think only in Trivikram's writing can do something
Yeah,
like that.
and like the thing is too, like it's like if it's not even switching. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's sometimes where like joke vesi, tarvata
Yeah.
straight face petesi,
Yeah.
serious intense look వచ్చి. Like that's not what that scene is. That's not what some of the scenes are when it
The
comes to
thing is, his
encounters, right?
personality doesn't change throughout the film. Like
Yeah.
we saw how much hardship he went through in the flashback portion. So when he comes back to the city, he does not want to go back to that sort of depressing era of his life, which is why he's so jovial.
Right.
ఈవెన్ ఆ ఫైనల్ ఫైట్ లో వచ్చినప్పుడు కూడా హీస్ లైక్ చోటు ఇప్పుడు వీళ్ళందరూ వచ్చినప్పుడు మనం ఏం చేయాలంటే బాడీని చాలా లూజ్ చేసుకోవాలి, ఎందుకంటే స్నేక్ లో మూవ్ అవుతాడు. సో అక్కడ కూడా చుట్టూతో మనుషులు ఉన్నారు, అయినా సరే ఈజ్ లైక్ యా కూల్ కామ్ స్టైలిష్ అబౌట్ ఇట్.
Yeah.
సో ఐ థింక్ అగైన్ త్రివిక్రమ్ రైటింగ్ గురించి అండ్ ద క్యారెక్టరైజేషన్ ఆఫ్ పవన్ కళ్యాణ్ was really good. But we're getting off topic. Back to the other characters in this. నాకు మాత్రం నంబర్ వన్ గుర్తు వచ్చేది ప్రణవ్, ద హెడ్
Yeah.
కానిస్టేబుల్.
Match number 58. Roll number 132. Gold medalist. Topper of the batch. Pranav, the head constable. చెప్పిందంత గుర్తుందిగా?
గుర్తుంది సార్.
వాడేమైనా ఎక్కువ తక్కువ చేశాడనుకో,
చంపేస్తే మీకేం ప్రాబ్లం లేదుగా.
దాట్స్ మై బాయ్.
డూడ్, బ్రహ్మానందంకి సీన్లు ఉంటాయి భయ్యా సినిమాలో, అసలు పిచ్చ పిచ్చ కామెడీ ఉంటాయి అసలు.
Yeah.
నాకైతే బాగా గుర్తు ఇది. ఐ థింక్ జో వచ్చుద్ది, ఇలియానా ఫ్రెండ్
Yeah. Yeah.
వచ్చుద్ది, వాళ్ళ ఫ్రెండ్స్ అందరేమో అసలు ఏం చేస్తున్నాడని బ్రహ్మానందం ఒక క్లాజెట్ లో దూరుతాడు. ఫ్రెండ్స్ అందరేమో నాకు ఆ షర్ట్ కావాలి, నాకు ఆ రింగ్ కావాలి, నాకు చైన్ కావాలి అని వస్తాడు. బ్రహ్మానందం బయటకు వచ్చి అసలు కబుర్లో ఏముందయ్యా, చిరిగిపోయిన చక్క, దానికో జేబు, దానికో బొక్క, అన్ని దొబ్బేశారు, నా రింగ్ దొబ్బేశారు, నా గొలుసు దొబ్బేశారు, నా డబ్బులు దొబ్బేశారు అని అంటాడు. సో అగైన్ ఇట్స్ the comedy and the characters in that film just work so well. It works perfectly, man, in that movie. Again, that's just Trivikram's writing peaks, bro.
No,
He's such a
literally,
good
bro.
writer.
Dude, I still can't get over the Prakash Raj and Pawan Kalyan like encounters like in the beginning, bro.
Yeah.
They're just so funny, bro. Like
Yep.
Pawan Kalyan walks up there and then like he just gives up. Like
He gives up. He sees him, oh Maniyina, and he just turns around and runs away. And then Prakash Raj is like, hey, I'll తీసుకురండి, and then his two bodyguards come and they pick him up, ఒక చిన్న పిల్లోడిని ఎత్తుకున్నట్టు.
no, bro, like that's the funniest part about this movie. Like he's so casual in this movie, right?
Yeah.
But then he turns into like this completely different person in like the second half of the movie because you have
Yeah.
to nail the warning and then the action and the intensity of the
Yeah.
character. But he still remains casual, right?
Yep.
Like that casualness never goes away. Even in the Naxalite scenes, even when he's doing a encounter warning scene, bro. Like what are we doing, bro? And so in that sense, like Sanjay Sahu's character is so relatable, bro. Like the beginning parts, I was just sitting there like relating, bro. I was like, dude, this is so funny. Like this is exactly how like in my head I would like act in a situation like this, bro. So
Nah, and again, another character we have to talk about is Ileana's character, bro. She's so cute and like she's so bubbly. It's like a perfect Trivikram
Yeah.
level heroine, bro.
Yeah.
She's beauty without the brains, essentially. And
that's
then
like all Trivikram.
that's
heroes,
all
bro.
Trivikram's
Like,
heroes,
obviously,
bro.
there's like some anomalies in there. Like there's like all
Pooja
the Pooja
Hegde.
Hegde characters,
Yeah.
but
When you
yeah,
look at Anushka from Kaleja, Puri, Trisha from Atadu, and then of course Ileana in both July and in Jalsa. Of course Samantha,
Samantha. I was
in Son of Satyamurthy.
Dude,
So like
even in bro.
even bro, yeah. So అదేంటిది పెళ్లి కొడుకు నచ్చలేదు చేతి కోసుకేసుకుంటుంది ఆ సినిమాలో అయితే ఓపెనింగ్ సీన్. But no, again, like, so I feel like Ileana is so cute and bubbly in this movie. It just worked. When you have a serious like Sanjay Sahu who on the face value of it looks very jovial, but there's so much going down underneath, and like,
Like, there's so much
emotional-
depth to his
there's so much depth to his character versus just a cute, bubbly, happy all the time sort of Ileana. It shouldn't work, but the chemistry worked really well. And of course, adding to that chemistry was DSP's banger of an album for that film, bro.
Yeah.
Like proper banger of an album.
No, and I think like the pattern I see with Trivikram films, right? When it comes to like telling underlying themes, right? Is he dumbs down a character to an extent so that they learn something new. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Usually with the heroine, like in this movie, the big like pivotal scene with Ileana and Pika's like dynamic was scene where he finds out that she's lying about a lot of things, right?
Yeah.
And then Nilage no undu.
Hmm.
Like for other people, don't change yourself, right?
Yeah.
And so that's like that like pivotal scene.
Hmm.
And in that sense, like on the flip side, like in Arvind Sameta,
Yeah.
like it like things click for NTR's character when Pooja Hegde is like, it's not the person that like fights all the time. It's the person that knows when to not fight
Hmm.
and win without fighting.
Yeah.
And so like in that sense, like it only works if you dumb down a character, and Trivikram like keeps showing that over and over again throughout his films. And
We're not
that's the
saying that
only
NTR
way.
is dumb in
But
Aravinda
yeah,
Sameta, but like we
he
have
dumbs
that.
it down a little bit in
Yeah.
certain aspects
So
so that
it
they
makes
learn
sense
something
to the
new.
other characters and to the audience as well. Like he gives an overall lesson to the audience as well
Right.
through his characters in the movie.
తెలియని విషయం చెప్తాడు అంతే.
Exactly. Yep.
ఎందుకంటే మనం కూడా ఇప్పుడు ఏదో ఒకటి నేర్చుకోవచ్చు. ఒక కొత్త మనిషిని కలిసినప్పుడు ఏదో ఒకటి నేర్చుకోవచ్చు. అది నా
Yeah.
పాయింట్.
Yep. But I want to shift over to talking about DSP, bro. DSP and Trivikram combos lo manaki chala vachinayi. We got July, we got Son of Satyamurthy, we got Attaringe Daredi, and we got Jalsa. I think out of those are the only four movies they've had together. Super track record. All four movies, huge albums, amazing albums, blockbusters. But Jalsa is special, man.
No, literally, bro.
Every song in that film is a proper banger. Jalsa ఎప్పుడు వచ్చింది 2006 లో 2007 లో ఎప్పుడు వచ్చింది కదా It's been
2008.
2008, right? So it's been 17 years since that movie. It's been 17 years since that album came out. To this day, My Heart is Beating,
Yeah.
Gallo Telinattunde, Jalsa title song, Chalore
Chalore,
Chalore.
Chalore, yeah.
All of these are in my playlist
No,
every
like,
year, bro.
ఆ మూవీలో సాంగ్స్ ఎలా ఉంటాయి అంటే లైక్ ఎస్పెషలీ ఫర్ లైక్ అవర్ ఏజ్ కిడ్స్ మనకు ఎలా ఉండిద్దంటే లైక్ యూనో లైక్ కొన్నిసార్లు ఇలా ఒక పాట విని ఈ సాంగ్ ఎక్కడో విన్నట్టుంది అని సర్చ్ కొడతాం మనం.
Yeah.
అయితే ఇప్పుడు ఈ మధ్య షజామ్ ఎప్పటి నుంచో ఉంది, సో లైక్
Yeah.
షజామ్ కొడతాం. ఇన్ దట్ సెన్స్ లైక్ జల్సాస్ మూవీ సాంగ్స్ ఆర్ లైక్ దట్, where like you'll be like, wait, where is this song? Oh, it's from Jalsa. Like it's been that long.
Yeah.
And so like those are the kind of songs that like you listen to and you're like, oh bro, like, and then it just starts getting catchy, right? And you start reminding yourself of how good the songs are. And in that sense, like those songs will never get old, bro. That album will never get old.
But yeah, no, the repeat value of Jalsa songs, and they stand the test of time, bro. Like ఇప్పటిదాకా అసలు బోర్ కొట్టని పాటలు.
Yeah.
To this day, like when I'm going on drives with my friends, my Tamil friends will be like, Macha, give me your phone, let's play My Heart is Beating.
Yeah.
Let's play Gallo Telinattunde. Say antala ఎక్కేస్తాయి ఆ పాటలు, and that is pure DSP magic, bro.
Yeah.
Again, అది 2008 లో వచ్చిందంటే that's like peak DSP. He could do no wrong ఆ time లో. And కొట్టిన ప్రతి పాట హిట్ అవుద్ది, and it's again beautiful stuff, bro. Beautiful songs. And of course we have to talk about title song కూడా సరి గమ పదనిస్సా అరే కరో కరో జర జల్సా అని అంటాడు. సో and then అది కూడా ఒక ఎలివేషన్ సాంగ్ ఉంటుంది, బట్ అట్ ద సేమ్ టైం హీరోయిన్ ఉంటుంది, ఫైటింగ్ ఉంటుంది, అండ్ ఆ పాటలు కూడా చాలా బాగుంటుంది.
Yeah.
The repeat one, Baba Segal sings that song, is so good, and of course it just works, man. Of course, Chalore Chalore is like that motivational song. Jalsa is the hype song. You have the love songs. Everything, all the songs in this movie have a purpose, and they're all so well, like even picturized by Trivikram. And then again, the music, it just all works, bro. And even the
Dude, like
BGMs work so well.
Like obviously the scenes itself are actually, if you think about it, not even that crazy, bro.
Yeah.
Like in throughout the movie, right? Very like casual, common scenes. Nothing's really like over the top, if
Yeah.
that makes sense, right?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
no unnatural movie elements in this movie. Like everything is pretty normal. The fighting is pretty normal.
Yeah.
It's not over the top at all. Very common man, like very like the
You get a
interactions and
little bit of
encounters.
that like sort of kung fu karate style in
Yeah,
it, and that's because PK knows
exactly.
martial arts. He knows
Right,
martial arts, so you get that sort of style in there naturally. It's in a lot of his movies where you can see that kung fu fighting pattern.
right.
Um,
And that only works, right? It like
mhm,
going with those sort of casual scenes if the other elements work.
yeah,
If the music works, if
hmm
the background music works,
hmm
if like the voiceovers and the narration is good.
yeah,
Like if all those elements aren't there, then like you can't just get away with doing casual scenes
yeah,
because ultimately it'll just feel kind of boring. Because
hmm
that's kind of how Telugu cinema is, right?
yeah,
If you don't have the over the top elements, sometimes people would just think it was boring.
hmm
And like especially that era of films,
hmm
especially like now you're starting to see it trend a little bit more
hmm
to just do a grounded film,
hmm
but back then especially like to
hmm
do a very casual film like that, you
hmm
have to have good background elements
hmm
for it to work. And
like
that's why
Asil.
even like a movie like Atadu will
hmm
work, bro,
hmm
because it's a very common film, but
hmm
the background elements work so well.
అంటే సరిగ్గా ఆలోచిస్తే ఈ సినిమాలో జల్సాలో ఆ ఇల్లు ఎక్కడైతే పవన్ కళ్యాణ్ ఇలియానా ఉంటారో దట్ హౌస్ అండ్ దెన్ ఫ్యూ సీన్స్ ఇన్ ద కాలేజ్ క్యాంపస్ అండ్ అడవి ఇవి తప్ప పెద్ద సీన్లు ఏం లేవు పెద్ద సెటప్స్
Yeah.
ఏం పెద్ద సెట్టింగ్స్ ఏం లేవు
Yeah.
అండ్ ఫైనల్ ఫైట్ కూడా ఏ పెద్ద ఇదిలో జరగదు ఒక ట్రాక్ ఫీల్డ్ లో జరుగుద్ది and it fits the film, it fits the narration, it fits everything in that movie. So again, that's just like Trivikram understanding the assignment, understanding what he's doing, and he just works with that.
Yeah.
And speaking of Trivikram, see, we talked about him throughout the entire episode, but his writing is so good, man. It's just we keep bringing up this point. That's just because how good of a writer Trivikram is. He started out his career as a writer. ఒక మల్లీశ్వరి, నువ్వు నాకు నచ్చావు, వాసు, ఇలా చాలా సినిమాలకి రైటర్ గా పనిచేసి డైలాగ్ రైటర్ గా పనిచేసి when he gets the opportunity to actually make films, Jalsa was only his third film when you think about it as a director. దానికి ముందు నువ్వే నువ్వే, అతడు, ఇప్పుడు Jalsa.
Yep.
So as a third film coming out with a film like Jalsa, characterization like Sanjay Sahu is crazy. It's crazy shit, man.
Yep. Yep.
And Trivikram just made it work. It just works so well.
It doesn't work in any other way. Trivikram
Yeah.
films only work because of his writing, bro.
hmm
Those are always the strong point. And
hmm
Trivikram's like screenplay is very underrated, I feel.
hmm
Because sometimes like if you don't set the scene properly,
Yeah.
then the dialogues won't land, right?
Yeah.
So in that sense, I feel even in this movie, like that's why I keep bringing up like the very casual
hmm
relatability of the character. If
hmm
like that isn't there, then this movie doesn't work.
And you see how much it takes for, like, again, writing wise, you see how much it takes for Sanjay Sahu to come out of that casual nature. Like, speaking of that interval scene, right? He gets into a bomb blast జరుగుద్ది, he's fine, casual గా ఉంటాడు. And దాని తర్వాత అతన్ని ఫ్రెండ్ ని అటాక్ చేస్తాడు. అటాక్ చేసి they make him run after him for a whole minute, and like for so long, they beat him up, and that is
That's
when
like
he
his
gets
breaking point.
stabbed. When he gets stabbed, right? That's his breaking point. He's like, screw this shit, no more Mr. Nice Guy. అని ఒక గొడ్డలో రాక్స్ చుట్టి అందరినీ he beats them up, and then that's when his friend comes in. It's like, మా కష్టాలు నీకేం తెలుసురా అంటే, కష్టాల గురించి నీకేం తెలుసు అని ఒక monologue ఇస్తాడు.
Yeah.
So we see that was the first time we see Sanjay Sahu's character, and it was, again, writing wise, we understand who Sanjay Sahu is. First half లోనే మనకు అర్థమైపోద్ది Sanjay Sahu
Yeah.
క్యారెక్టర్ ఏంటో అని. అండ్ అది బిల్డప్ అయ్యి ఆ ఇంటర్వెల్ లో బస్ట్ అయ్యేసరికి మనకి, ఓహో, దిస్ గాయ్ హ్యాస్ సో మచ్ మోర్ టు హిమ్ దెన్ వాట్ వీవ్ ఆల్రెడీ సీన్. అండ్ దాట్ బిల్డ్స్ ఇన్ టు ద ఫ్లాష్బ్యాక్ సీన్ ఇన్ ద సెకండ్ హాఫ్.
కంటికి కనిపించిన ఏదో ఒక శక్తి కొన్ని టన్నుల బరువుతో భూమిలోకి తొక్కుతున్నట్టు నీకు ఎప్పుడైనా అనిపించిందా? వయసులో ఉండగానే బాధతో భుజాలు కుంగిపోవటం ఎప్పుడైనా అనిపించావా? నువ్వెప్పుడైనా అనుభవించావా? మనకి సమాజంలో బతకడానికి మన దగ్గర ఉన్న పేరు, మన దగ్గర ఉన్న అధికారం, మన శక్తి ఏది సరిపోదు. ఈ జనం మధ్య బతకలే, దూరంగా పారిపోవాలి నీకు ఎప్పుడైనా అనిపించిందా? అడవి నీకు ఎప్పుడైనా అమ్మలా కనిపించిందా? తుపాకి పట్టుకుంటే ధైర్యంగా ఉంటుంది నీకు ఎప్పుడైనా అనిపించిందా? బతకాలంటే ఇంకొకరిని చంపడం తప్ప మనం బతకలేమని అనిపించిందా? నాకు అనిపించింది. తుపాకి పట్టాను, అడవిలోకి వెళ్ళాను, నక్సలైట్ అయ్యాను. నక్సలైట్ అయ్యాను నక్సలైట్ అయ్యాను ఇక్కడ కష్టం గురించి మాట్లాడే హక్కు నాకు మాత్రమే ఉంది నీకు లేదు ఖచ్చితంగా నీకు లేదు
So, and then it's again, like you said, the screenplay writing of the film in Jalsa was so good. Everything, like we said it, everything just works in this movie. That's why this movie stands the test of time. That's why it has that rewatchability factor.
The thing is, like, we talked about it with like the Trivikram films that really don't nail it is when the flow is gone, right?
Yeah.
Or like some elements feel forced. But if you look at all the strengths of the Trivikram films, it's when the elements are all in a flow and they work well together, rather than just forcing a certain element.
Yeah.
Anytime you force a certain comedy or force a certain action scene, it just becomes unnatural, and as an audience, you just don't want to see it.
Which is one of the big issues that happened with Agnyatavasi, right? The comedy was forced. When you think about the action sequences in Agnyatavasi worked very well. It's in it when you take it at its face value. It's supposed to be a serious movie. His dad died. He needs to find who the killers are. He needs to find the reason as to why they killed his dad, and he needs to take over his company. That is the main point of Agnyatavasi. అందులో మళ్ళీ కామెడీ పెట్టారు పెట్టలేదు ఇరికిచ్చారు.
No, honestly, the comedy elements ఎక్కువ ఉన్నాయి ఆ మూవీలో.
Exactly.
యాక్షన్ కన్నా. It should have been at least ఒక ఈవెన్ స్ప్లిట్ ఉండాలి. అయితే యాక్షన్ ఎక్కువ ఉండాలి ఆ మూవీలో. యాక్షన్ in the sense ఆ serious intense confrontation scenes ఉండాలి.
For me though, in Agnyatavasi picturization బాగుంటుంది.
Yeah.
And the action sequences, interval లో ఒక action sequence ఉంటుంది. ఖుష్బూ కూర్చుంటాడు, పవన్ కళ్యాణ్ ఏమో అందరిని చంపుతూ ఉంటాడు. And then the ending fighting scene with Adi, అది కూడా చాలా బాగుంటుంది. పవన్ కళ్యాణ్ ఇంట్రో ఫైట్ కూడా బాగుంటుంది. Like intro scene fight కూడా బాగుంటుంది. So like the action works really well, and of course Anirudh the music కూడా చాలా బాగుంటుంది.
Of course.
The comedy does not work out at all. Heroines work out అవ్వు, and అందుకనే ఆ సినిమాకి that cinema does not work.
Yeah.
And again, when you're talking about flow, we talked about this in our Guntur Karam episode, but just to bring it up, Guntur Karam doesn't have a flow.
It's
ఒక ప్రాపర్
just
ఫ్లో
scenes.
ఉండదు. సో అందుకనే ఆ సినిమా వర్క్ అవ్వదు. బట్ జల్సా సంగతి వస్తే యాక్షన్ సీక్వెన్సెస్, కామెడీ సీక్వెన్సెస్, emotional sequences all flow very well. The screenplay is very well. It's paced perfectly, and it just works.
అంతే
That is
main
why
thing
that movie is
ఏంటంటే,
so good.
అంటే మన క్యారెక్టర్ షిఫ్ట్ వచ్చింది అనమాట. లైక్ ఇప్పుడు ఒక ఒక కలేజా, ఒక అలా వైకుంఠపురంలో, ఒక జల్సా
Yeah.
ఎలా ఉండిద్దంటే they're like fun characters at face value. Right? Like if you look at Kaleja or Ala Vaikuntapuramlo,
Yeah.
and even in Jalsa, the beginning, the first half is like very comedy centric because these are just common people that are like relatable.
Yeah.
And they just have like very stupid things going on in their life, right?
Yeah.
And so it just keeps going in that track. And then there'll be like this shift where they completely switch.
Yeah.
And then when they switch, that's when you get the backstory of their character, or like you'll see what prompted the switch, right? In Kaleja, it was when he got stabbed. In Alawe Kuntapuramlo, it was when he found out about
His dad.
his
Yeah.
like him being switched at birth. And then in Jalsa, it's when they actually flash to his backstory. So, and that's why it works, bro. If you just like force this character on us the whole entire time and force these interactions on us the whole entire time with
Yeah.
no underlying value or like no underlying dynamic, then it's useless.
Yeah. And again, we keep repeating this. Because all those were perfectly done, perfectly written in this movie is why Jalsa became a hit, and it's why it's got that rewatchability factor. I can sit down and watch Jalsa and probably recite every single dialogue, bro.
Yeah.
That's how many times I've watched. That's probably how many times you've watched this movie.
Yep.
It's just like that. But yeah, moving on. Before we end the video, what is your favorite scene in Jalsa, bro?
Bro, like I want to go with the confrontation scene so bad, bro, but I just have to go with the one where he's like walking on top of the terrace and the music is playing in the background, bro, and it's just like,
Oh, with
yeah,
they call him the cool angry man.
yeah, yeah,
Super under
because that's like the
Jalsa.
shift, right?
Yeah.
He's like,
It's towards
okay,
the end of the
colored
movie,
down,
and then
yeah,
he's like, okay, let's figure this
yeah,
guy out.
colored down, and then
Yeah.
so like he's like then like he's walking on top of the terrace, and then, yep, you get the music, bro.
మున్నా వచ్చేస్తున్నా.
They call him the cool angry man. Super Andhra Telsa. It's the time for the toll and the beat. Come on, karo jalsa. Jalsa. Yo, yo, yo.
Yeah. For me, I was gonna say it's the confrontation scene, bro.
That's valid.
It's the warning scene, bro. It's
Yep.
that first warning scene. అసలు ఎంత కూల్ గా కామ్ గా అంటాడు
Yeah.
అంకుల్ అని అంటాడు. It's like it's so good, man.
Yeah.
Again, that's Pawan Kalyan peak. That's peak Pawan Kalyan, bro.
Yeah. The only
Uh,
person I've really like seen nail something like that, like in terms of that like kind of cool confrontation, is like
Yeah.
actually just Allu Arjun, bro. Like that's
Yeah.
really all Allah Vaikunthapuramlo is, bro. But yeah, but the first person we saw really do that and then also continue to do that throughout his career was very much PK.
Is PK, bro. Yeah, it's not loud. It's not like it works. కొంతమంది ఒక బాలయ్యకి ఒక ఎన్టీఆర్ కి loud confrontations work అవుతాయి.
Yeah.
But for PK, a quiet confrontations work outai. He's giving a warning, but he's also be like, see you later, bro. Like a
అత్తారింటికి
smile into
దారేదిలో మనకు ఆ
Yeah.
డైలాగ్ తెలుసు ఆ డైలాగ్ లో అరుస్తాడా No, అస్సలు అరవడు కదా చాలా కామ్ గా కూల్ గా చెప్తాడు నడుచుకుంటూ వెళ్ళిపోతాడు అంతే
Yeah.
So in that sense, Jalsa is also like that confrontation scene. Walks in, ఏదో కొన్ని flow లో ఇంకా మాట్లాడేస్తాడు ఇంకా వెళ్ళిపోతాడు. So,
So yeah, the confrontation scenes in that warning scene was really good. But I guess for both of us though, the comedy scenes are just peak, bro.
dude, so good, bro.
It's
That's
so
like
good.
everything I come back to with Trivikram movies, bro.
The
Nobody
comedy
does it
just
like
works so well in this movie. This movie is again, it's easily one of my favorite PK movies.
Bro, I hope you guys just see this review and it just reminds you to go back and watch the movie.
Go back and watch
Go
Jalsa.
back
Just
and watch
go-
it again, bro.
Just go back and watch it.
Just go back and watch
Yeah,
it.
have a fun time. But yeah, I think that's a good place to end this video. Hope you guys liked the video. Let us know what other movies we should do a deep dive of in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.